Hello, David Baston. Just wanted to, I know earlier when resolution 7600 was passing, Tony was asked a question, the city attorney.
So our options here, based on what I understand of the statute, change is that we either live stream it all or we don't live stream any of it. Is that correct, Tony?
And in a roundabout manner, she stated that basically the Senate Bill 70 said you had to pick one or the other, one median.
It's correct that we are responding to the change in state law. We will be live streaming on YouTube. It is just we are selecting YouTube to be the manner in which we are live streaming during the meetings.
Zoom. Say that again. You meant Zoom.
Did I meant
Selecting Zoom as the
we're selecting Zoom.
Yeah.
Which does not state that. I don't, unless I just misunderstood the person's question and her answer. That bill did not state you had to have one form of public or of meeting.
Chloe Cole, who shared her testimony in the public, who transitioned at 12 with puberty blockers, testosterone, and mastectomy, transitioned at 17, who transitioned at 12 with puberty blockers, testosterone, and mastectomy.
Who loves you, baby? You're beautiful.
A couple of years, things may change when all the kids grow up and start wearing ties and going to the polls.
You ever have that feeling where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming?
Now we'll move to C6B, which is the resolution about the meeting order. And Commissioner Lawson, you pulled that item, but
It was again, David had asked that I pull that.
Hello, David Baston again. I just wanted to express my concern regarding this decision as outlined in Resolution 7600 to discontinue streaming the city commission meetings on the city's YouTube channel, instead solely rely on Zoom webinars for real-time public access. Rather than complying with this requirement by including general public comment in the YouTube live streaming, and I think it's on city, the channel 25 also, the city has chosen to eliminate the live stream on this accessible platform. The decision raises serious questions about the city's commitment to ensuring residents can stay informed about the decisions that are discussed during the meetings and periodic concerns voiced by other citizens. I know this was moved to the end. The public comment, general public comments were moved to the end over a year ago, and then not live streamed. And I think this is all let's see. I just request some quick clarification on the following points. Again, I sent a letter to you guys at the end of this packet if you guys want to read it in full, and also if any of the public wants to read it, you can scroll down to the end of the packet. Given that the Zoom webinar allows real-time viewing of the entire meeting, including general public comment, will the city ensure that the full meeting, including this segment, is included in the recordings posted on YouTube the following day or whenever it becomes available. Excluding general public comment from recordings would further limit the public's ability to stay informed about the community's concerns raised during these meetings, contrary to the intent of KOMA. Yeah, and this was all basically because of Senate Bill 70, which I advocated for. Just consider those things, please. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And we did get your letter there. Any questions before we open it to public comment? Just go ahead and, public comment, we'll go ahead and let people do that.
So David's last concern is my chief concern. The only reason to do this is so that you can curate the record. And the three of you probably didn't dream this up. It was one of these idiots over here, and it's a sad thing that Craig can't be here to take responsibility for his behavior and for the actions that he's doing against public comment. But let's go over the death throes that you guys have gone through to try to limit the speech of the public. Ms. Larson, you've ridiculed public by claiming that they were wrong when the chief just lied to you. Then you and City Commission candidate Shipley back here made up some lies about how you felt threatened by me walking out with you asking questions. I noticed that I'm still here tonight after 2 weeks ago sitting down there asking you questions as you actually left the building. Maybe Mr. Finkeldijk could give the school district a little advice about their trespassing policies, because it's obvious the city doesn't want to go there. But you first cut down consent, if we all remember way back. And let's talk about why citizens can't pull consent items. And I believe that was when Commission candidate Shipley was the mayor. They had to limit the citizens' ability to pull consent items because I stood at this podium and said, well, why don't I just pull all the consent items and talk the whole night? Just the insinuation that I might do that, and boom, we have rule changes. You guys are nuts. Then you had to move public comment to the end, like that was going to stop anything. Now you just forced us to be here for the whole meeting so that we can talk about other things. That was just dumb. You guys have gone through all these motions to limit, to shut people down. Even Amber and her little stage show running off the dais and trying to get sympathy from the newspapers over here that carry water for you guys and carry your lies. Which is why we have to bring our own cameras so that we can prove your lies in the end. And that's happened repeatedly. It's pathetic. Then in some idea that you had that everything up here was performative. Everything, and I've heard this from you guys, that it's all performative, especially from these knuckleheads. That it's just performative. That I'm just up here for a paycheck. That I'm just doing this for money. God, you guys. And if you're going to blame YouTube's policies about why you have to do this because you're afraid of what might be seen, let me refresh you in case city staff has misled you about YouTube's policies. The only reason you would need to censor content is if your whole goal is to make money. Because if you notice, I upload pictures or videos every day with the word bitch, shit, fuck you, motherfucker, and all those words. And I'm still there.
Time.
Good evening, all. John Martin, 66046. I came tonight not really prepared, and I'm on painkillers, so this may not be as clear as I like. So I rise in opposition to the city removing the live broadcast from the YouTube channel. And let me remind you of, or kind of inform you of why. The city's professed vision is a city of Lawrence supporting an unmistakably vibrant community with an innovative, equitable, transparent, and responsible local government. Broadcasting live city meetings, including public comment, is a transparent process. And any step away from that removes trust in your local government. the values that the city of Lawrence professes. You're committed to character, competence, courage, collaboration, and commitment. Character always matters in elected leaders. And when you remove trust from that equation, character becomes in question, and that removes your ability to govern effectively. Competence, again, trust. You have to trust in your elected officials if you want the trust of the community. Courage. It takes courage to sit in that chair. I've been in that chair. I know it's not easy. I know that it's never easy facing an angry public. But I think it's something you need to deal with 3 minutes at a time. Collaboration. Again, collaboration takes trust. And when you remove transparency from the equation, trust goes out the window. And with everything we have going on in Lawrence, especially with the budget and the tax rates and stuff, we've got to be able to trust our local government. Otherwise, things are going to get worse. So, commitment. I would ask you guys to recommit to being transparent in your local government, in the job you're doing. Again, I respect the job you're doing. I respect the chair, but I think we can do better. And I would ask that you would not remove public comments from the live broadcasts, and you would continue to do live broadcasts on YouTube. So, thank you all.
Thank you.
Howdy. I came from Texas to come visit with you guys and gals. I'm a veteran, and what made me come up here, I was in Wichita training with Eddie Gallagher on a kill house long time ago. I was a cop with the military, did my stuff. But one thing as a veteran that I know, I've served 2 tours. I'm a Jewish veteran, and I bring that up for a reason. This town should have that American flag loud and proud, y'all. You should honor their words, whatever they're saying, and just acknowledge it. One thing that bothers me, and I've seen y'all do it, I pulled your oath of office, every one of you, and y'all signed it. Little John did something. I guess that's you, right, Bart? Little John, is that you? We pulled up your oath of office, and on there it says something about perjury. You're supposed to do something with the Constitution. You're supposed to honor the Constitution, the Kansas Constitution. You guys and gals have not. Absolutely have not. You have abused people's rights here. You have absolutely arrested them, trespassed them, because your feelings. I was in Thailand, and it was a kingdom. Let me tell you about Thailand. You drop a bill with the king's picture on it, and you step on it, you go to jail. They jail journalists for thinking and possibly intimating something's going down on somebody in terms of their words, their thoughts. They were thinking in advance. This is what they said negatively. You guys, this isn't America. This is a red communist state. And this just pisses me off. I come up here 500 miles to say, you guys got to clean your act up. I watch you guys. You've aggrieved this man right here, Justin Spieth, because of what? Their words, because their viewpoints differed from yours. There's case law that substantiates everything. I know there's a lawsuit coming, and that's ridiculous. You guys have perjured yourselves, 100%. Every one of you, you're using the 10 badges back here to enforce your will. Oh, it's our building, it's our words. No, it's the people of this city that own this place. You're there because of them, and you forgot about it. And I think you have. But one of the things that just really just pisses me off, I interviewed a bunch of the ladies and gals with the numbers on their arms, Jewish people from the camps. And what you are doing and what you have done is reminiscent of the brown shirts of 1930s. They stripped the Jews' rights exactly like you're doing to the citizens of this town. You're limiting their speech. You're doing everything to stop hurting your feelings. Grow a pair, y'all. Get real. Get a little bit of moxie behind you. Be proud that you got elected under a flag. Not because you guys and gals got up there because of what? You want to be good for the community and agenda and what have you? I just came up here and wanted to say, hey.
Time.
Thank you. I'm here because these guys have been abridged and have been hurt.
Thank you.
John Emms, 66049. I can't begin to do honor to the prior speakers on this issue, but I'm a taxpayer citizen here, And from my perspective, you have consistently made it more difficult for citizens to speak their words. You've maneuvered things to be late in the evening. The county puts us up almost the second thing on the agenda. You've made it more difficult to watch in terms of real time. So I'm not proud of the changes you have made, and I certainly agree with the prior speakers. I think you should change the rules that you've instituted on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christina McKenna, 66046. First, I'm here to say thank you. Reading the official Pride Proclamation is a big deal. Celebrating voices is a big deal. A few of the other proclamations, they ask you for courage. This, though, 7600, that's cowardice. We must celebrate our wins as we struggle through the mounting pile of crap that's being loaded on us every single day. However, I'm here right now to hold your feet to the fire like we're supposed to do with our leadership. You're supposed to represent the people of this city, the people who choose to call Lawrence their home, yet you're trying to create silence. Again, I've been here before, talking to a different set of faces. Some of them are the same. Back when we had to remind you that bathroom usage isn't supposed to matter and that we have a unisex one at home. You created a safe haven. That was important too. Back when public comment was actually part of the meeting. So you put us to the very end to try to not inconvenience yourselves. You had to listen to a lot of us for hours, stating what we want from our democratically chosen leadership. And sadly, you've been listening less and less to our voices. You talk about throwing money at programs. You know what? Just get out there and talk to us. We can tell you exactly what we're looking for in our leadership. We only get 3 minutes, 3 lousy minutes for each of us to come up here and tell you our hearts. That is not enough. So you push us to make it easier on you. Well, you won the round of moving it to the end. Then you decided not to broadcast the public comment to silence us more. And now you're trying to stop live streaming. Not only is this a blow to the shred of transparency that we get from you, but you're also going to be silencing the accessibility, the people who are differently able than us, the accessibility voices in our community. That is discrimination. Call it what you want to. Give us reasons that you want to and flavor it however you want to. It's discrimination. And shame on you for bringing that back into the leadership positions in another way. I thought you'd learned before that we in Lawrence really don't like that. So for Lawrence, where I'm proud and honored to be part of you, apparently we're going to have to attend every single meeting to keep our leadership accountable. We will push the transparency back into uncomfortable levels like we've done before. We know exactly what is being attempted, and we are not here for that. We're here to hold you accountable and to tell you what we need from you. We, the people, put you in your seats. So quick question, how much of our money does it save to end the transparency of live streaming compared to other options we actually support?
Thank you.
None.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah? Y'all just sit there mute? I said, how you guys doing?
So I said good.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you. You're gonna have to speak up. I got, hearing problems. Veteran shit, something I don't think you guys really seem to care about. Seems like you got a transparency problem around here. Is that true? How many times you gotta hear the people speak before you do something? Or are you just gonna sit on your asses and just laugh, smirk, pretend like you're paying attention? I'm a visitor here, and it only took me 10 minutes of driving around this town to realize that there's something seriously wrong with this city. Just about every single government building out there, renovated, new this, new that. You're putting an extension on the sheriff's department. You got the police department going to a new building and this and that. And you got these restaurants that have great food that are struggling to pay their damn taxes. Where's all this money going? Spoke to a tyrant right here. Spoke to this tyrant right here for 3 minutes. And already, and within 3 minutes, found an unconstitutional order that your city has against soliciting. Do you guys know anything about free speech, accountability, transparency? What kind of fucking circus are y'all running up here? No, you know, like, I'm sitting here trying to be compassionate with you, let you know what's going on, and y'all just sitting there with blank fucking stares on your face. Do you know that there's a row of houses behind the sheriff's department? Nice little cute houses, all manicured good. The owners love them. You know what they don't fucking love? The fact that they can't park in front of their fucking houses because these cops and your sheriffs are taking up all the goddamn parking spaces there with their private cars. Do you know anything about that? No, you don't. Because you don't fucking care about the people in your city. It's that fucking simple. Adios.
Thank you. Any other public? Oh, looks like someone's coming in.
Hey, Kristi.
Hello. Well, hearing everybody's public comments was very, very aggressive. Everybody needs to work on everything. And actually, I came up here asking for some type of understanding on the no camping ban that's getting enforced August 15th.
We're talking about the public.
Yes.
This one ordinance first. We'll have open public comment later, but if it's related to the...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that right there, the whole public comment, you know, if you take this, what am I trying to say? Transparency, like they said, you know?
Yes.
It's really important to us, to the whole community, I mean, to everybody. I mean, there's a lot of misunderstandings, there's a lot of, I feel very, I don't know, confused about everybody's aggression towards the city and the city aggression towards you guys. Well, we all have to be on the same page. There's no other way that any of this can work. Like, we all have to be together. I don't know how that's gonna work or how that's gonna happen, but I hope we can figure it out. Because after hearing everybody's comments, I'm gonna, you know, what happened to Lawrence? I'm just saying, that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you.
David Callahan, 66049. I just wanted to come up and say that I support what was said by the gentleman with his arm in a sling. I don't know his name, but I think that transparency is an important thing. The one aspect of this particular resolution that I'm concerned about is whether, and I just don't know the answer because I haven't been able to find it in news reports, is whether stopping the live streaming of the meeting will make it difficult for people to know what's happening in the meeting in order to make a relevant public comment at the end of the meeting or whenever you have it. Does that prevent people from being able to witness what's happening, you know, when it's happening? That's my only comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Howard?
Hi, Howard Callahan, worked in homeless social work for a long, long time. That's relevant in this context because if anybody that knows anything about the history of disability rights or liberation movements knows that the space for advocacy is not guaranteed. Anybody that's dealt with a repressive regime or organization knows that they will try to isolate and silence you. And I realize that there are times that, folks could make an argument that this platform might be being used inappropriately, but when it comes to the ability for people to self-advocate in a manner that their voices are heard by both their electeds and the community that has a stake in the kinds of decisions that are made, once that's gone, we won't hear it. We won't know. We'll lose the ability to actually, notice that the canary in the coal mine stopped singing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Meryl S, 66049. I'd like to ask you to oppose Resolution 7600 and maintain the live stream, and also maintain and bring back the live stream of the public comments. I feel like it's important for people to participate in their government and the rules that are being made, and I think not live streaming the city commission meetings, and also what's currently happening now, not showing the public comments, is taking away the people's capacity to participate in their government and be represented by their government and the rules that are being made. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris Flowers. I'd just like to start off saying, why have we not had public input about how our meetings are run? We've been talking about this for, 3 years at least. Why have you not done, how important is public comment? Or, what order should the meeting be ran in? You've never done public input to get the public's actual feelings about this subject. Also, you all claim you're doing it to stop the few bad apples, but I'm gonna say right now, all your changes have not stopped Dr. Speeds or LawrenceAccountability from showing up, or myself. I don't know if I'm one of them, but look at tonight, there's more. Look, there's more people with cameras recording. If you go through with this, you're not stopping them, you're increasing them. You're stopping the people you claim to be you claim you're doing it for the rest of the people, but that's who you're stopping. And if I'm being honest, I think that's how it's intended. You act like you don't like the wild cards, but it's the normal people. You don't like it when a bunch of them come and talk for an hour. That's what you're trying to stop, and you're using the wild ones as your cover. That's what I think. And also, future predictions about what's going to happen, I think someone will start streaming it themselves. And you might think it's going to be maybe LawrenceAccountability, maybe someone else. Maybe it's one of the social media people we already have. And I've heard some of them on Facebook, they can be pretty quick to ban people. So just think about that. If one of them starts streaming, and then on the YouTube now, comments are turned off. They might turn comments on. So you want to talk about toxic, that's going to be much more toxic than what you have now. Also, if you do go through this, are you going to put public comment back at the beginning, since you moved it to the end because, well, we can't stream it unless we move it to the end or whatever? So I just want to point that out. Performative. Yeah, all politics is performative. You all are as performative as we are when you are running for office. And minimum wage, rent control, sanctuary city, all this stuff. We can't find loopholes around that. But my God, transparency in government, that's what we're gonna fight and find the loophole for. I say get rid of our city manager, seriously.
Boom.
Amen. Yes, thank you.
Go ahead.
Patrick Ross, 66049. I'd echo a lot of the comments said earlier. I would also question when public comment would be held if that change was made. I question why the change is being made, so I'd like the city to explicitly state why they're doing it. And if there's an issue with YouTube, let's see what happens first, would be my suggestion. If there is a problem, then we'll change it. If not, then let's just kind of keep it the way it is because it seems to work well. Although I would say some of the changes we made in the last year, I disagree with. I also just flat out believe that if we don't live broadcast the meetings, less people would engage. Because even I, knowing how to navigate the portal website, it's still kind of confusing and finicky. And so it's just, if the whole goal is to have politics that represent the people, the citizens of Lawrence, I flat out disagree with this decision helping with that. I would also question the reasons behind it and would echo some of the sentiments issued earlier. If the issue is mostly because of public comment, I would say if between the options presented to us, I would say that the best course of action would be to retain the live broadcast on YouTube and to keep public comment separate from that if that is the main issue, because Lawrence Times are doing a great job putting that up online. And in fact, the last meeting I checked earlier today, there were more views on Lawrence Times' public comment broadcast than there were of the actual meeting, which is kind of both sad and also impressive. So that would be sort of my first suggestion on the issue, and just don't agree with it. I agree we should live broadcast everything we do here because it's all representative of the people of Lawrence, and truth and transparency and collaboration is the goal of these meetings and governance in general. And on the issue of veterans, I would just highlight my stepfather spoke earlier. He's a local veteran, Bronze Star and Purple Heart recipient, if that leads to any help with making this decision. And he even graduated from the University of Kansas and Kansas State University, so he knows and understands both sides of the issue. So I would echo his viewpoint on this issue. Thank you very much.
Seeing no one else in the room, online?
We do have a few. Stephen Watts.
Hi, thank you. You know, I have to conclude off the top of my head what? Because there's no leadership, Lawrence types here tonight, that all of this is a waste of everybody's time. I understand something has to happen with the passage of this legislation, and it's clear what needs to happen. That is, public comment needs to be placed back into the entire meeting and it be live streamed and broadcast. I don't know what you're hiding from or what people are hiding from. At the same time, it's also past time to allow the public to have access to the consent agenda items and be able to pull those. What is performative is these meetings. You guys, I mean, it's just coming to the place where you rubber stamp, rubber stamp, rubber stamp. These meetings belong to the people. They are the people's meeting, first and foremost. It's not to make life simple for the executive team and the rest of the town staff. I understand there are problematics in there. In fact, we need to expand to 4 meetings per month, bare minimum, 1 a week. When it was cut down to 3, okay, that was back then. Now we face financial exigency. Now we face homelessness issues beyond belief. We face all kinds of stuff. We need more meetings They need to be broadcast live. Right now, going back with this, I'm struggling. I'm having to move back between the Zoom meeting and the YouTube meeting in order to see who an HE double toothpick is talking. Also, written into this resolution is wiggle room of they'll post the video the next day or when practicable. That means they'll do it whenever the fuck they get around to it, if they feel like it on those days. Excuse my French. It's kind of like, why I can't believe it. I mean, I'm sitting here watching the Zoom meeting, but I can't see anything. So I have to switch over to YouTube. And I thought we had kind of repaired that. So at any rate, please, understand these meetings belong to the people. What is the problem with streaming it live? Okay? That's all I have to say for the moment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Adrianna Williams.
Go ahead, yeah.
Hello, Adrianna Williams, 66049. Please continue to let comments like mine in the live streaming on YouTube and not just at the end of the meeting, for freedom of speech sake. I will show my public comment as a valid truth and as an example of what you will be censoring by not live broadcasting everything that's in the meetings. So it is relevant to the present comments. The LGBTQIA+ movement, emboldened by Mayor Michael Dever's proclamation of June as LGBTQIA+ Pride Month, leads many astray from God's natural order. Genesis 1:27 declares, "So God created man in his own image, male and female created he them." This divine binary, rooted in biology, is subverted by identities and attractions that are not natural, but often born of pain. Studies like those from the American Psychological Association reveal up to 60% of transgender individuals report past abuse, neglect, or mental health struggles shaping their identities. These are not innate, but wounds from a fallen world. Yet Mayor Dever's proclamation celebrates this confusion, ignoring the harm. For example, transgender interventions cause irreversible damage. As 2021 Archives of Sexual Behavior study estimates 10 to 30% of trans individuals detransition, regretting permanent changes. Chloe Cole, who shared her testimony in the public, who transitioned at 12 with puberty blockers, testosterone, and mastectomy, transitioned at 17, who transitioned at 12 with puberty blockers, testosterone, and mastectomy. Her dysphoria stemmed from trauma and societal pressures, not a need to alter her body. She now warns of these harms facing medical and social fallout. We must object to this proclamation. June should not be Pride Month, glorifying sin, but a time to heal deep wounds from abuse and trauma. The gospel and conservative values work. A 2018 Journal of Christian Psychology study found 70% of trauma survivors who embraced biblical counseling and traditional family values reported significant healing, compared to 40% with secular therapy. Faith in Christ restores brokenness. John 10:10 promises, "I'm come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly." Through faith in God's only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, Jesus heals. Through repentance from our own non-biblical ways, Jesus heals. I call you to write Mayor Dever, urging him to rescind this proclamation. I do urge you to rescind it, Mayor Dever, and help our community to seek Christ's healing offered to all. Let June be a month of gospel restoration, not pride.
Okay, thank you. Your time's up.
What the hell was that?
Any other comment?
Check in. That's all the comments.
Okay, bring it back to the commission for discussion, comment, motions.
I don't have any comment. I want to check with the mayor.
Mayor Devo, any comments you want to make? We'll just start.
I'll let you talk, and I'll join in if I need to. I'm being remote. Thank you.
I guess I'll just say a couple things. I mean, I think there was the question about the Zoom participation. If you're watching on YouTube, you can't participate in the meeting. You have to be on the Zoom feed to participate in the meeting. So getting people onto the Zoom meeting allows that participation. This is the model that the county uses to not live stream it, but use the Zoom webinar version. And they've been doing that for a while now. And of course, we've not been streaming live public comment for quite a while now either. Obviously, I think as Patrick pointed out, often there's some more views on people who show it in other places, but I think that what we want to encourage is the Zoom participation, and if someone wants to watch it live as opposed to watching it, the next day or later that night, obviously they can join the Zoom meeting. We do that on the county commission all the time. So, my only concern really is the concern that I think Steve has pointed out a few times, and that we need to make sure our Zoom is working well so that people participating by Zoom can follow that. But I think we can continue to work on that and get that fixed. So, I see this as a continuation of what we have been doing, and I understand that people have been objecting to it since we made the change, but I see this as a continuation of that, of what we have been doing, and I'm fine with that mode of participation through the Zoom and being here in presence. And I guess I would add that, there's a lot of cities that either don't have public comment or don't allow Zoom at all or don't allow live streaming at all. They make everyone show up in person, and I certainly don't support changing any of those things. I want public comment. I want people to be able to come on Zoom and participate that way, and I want people to not have to be here to participate, but if they want to be here to participate, that's great too. So I think all three of those are good ways to participate. Other comments?
Vice Mayor?
Yes, Mayor Devo.
I just wrote down a couple questions, and I want to make sure we get answers to them if possible. The first question is, how will this decrease our transparency to the public?
I missed the question. What did you say? How will this
decrease our transparency relative to our public and or our elected?
You're asking how you'll decrease it?
Yeah, sorry, the connection's really not very good right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn off my video, see if this helps. Hold on.
Okay.
So how will this decrease our transparency relative to people's ability to access our meetings? I think you've highlighted that, but is there really any decrease in transparency at all?
It's only the mode of, others can answer, the mode of how you do it, either Zoom versus YouTube. If you're not going to be here present, you have to choose a medium, and that medium, if you choose Zoom, you can have that access. Or if you choose YouTube, that's the only access we're taking away. Is that your question?
Right on, yeah. So it's only to YouTube if you want to live stream via YouTube, but we can still live stream via Zoom like I am doing right now, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then, I saw some confusion from some of the public commenters, and I want to make sure we understand why we're doing this. We're specifically requested because there was a suit filed, and therefore we are asked to act, and therefore we are choosing between either live streaming all of it or live streaming it the way it was. And since we can't do it piecemeal, we're going to have to do away with it under this current proposal, correct?
Yeah, you said suit, but I think you meant statute. There's a new statute that requires.
All right.
The new statute that requires.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, so does that mean that, some people want to keep it as is? We cannot maintain status quo, correct?
Correct. There has to be some change.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And so, so the last question was, so the reason for having city commission meetings, I think some people brought this up. Can we focus on and can we elaborate on the reason for having, weekly city commission meetings and their purpose so that the public can understand that?
You asking for my opinion, or you want to give your opinion?
No, I'd like the other commissioner's opinion on this because people brought it up, and I feel like, it's important for many reasons, but, I think public comment is fundamental, and I think I want to maintain that as part of our meetings. But I believe I want to make sure I understand everyone's opinion that is, we all agree that that's important, but that fundamentally we are doing the city's business during our public meetings, correct? And I want to make sure that's my understanding, and I just want to make sure if there's others that disagree that I'd like to understand that.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I would agree that, obviously those resolutions to pass, those bills to pay, those decisions and policy to make, and that's the primary purpose of the meeting, that's the primary purpose of the meeting, to do those things.
I think you mentioned other municipalities don't even have general public comment at all. And I do not want to do away with that in any way, shape, or form, but I want to make sure that we are not limiting the ability of the public to comment in any way in approving this, correct?
Yeah, certainly those quite a few cities that don't allow general public comment, places like Wichita only allow it once a month, others that do it on the fourth week of the month, they don't allow general public comment, regularly. And so, no, I certainly believe we should have general public comment every week, and every week that we have a meeting and have that ability and continue that ability.
Okay, very good. All right, thanks. I just wanted to get anybody else's input on that too, because those are the things I wrote down being outside the room, so I wanted to make sure we talked about them. Thanks.
Yeah, I would second that. I definitely want, general public comment to be a part of the meeting every week. And, I don't want that to go away.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Public comment is definitely something that I would never see want to go away. So our options here, based on what I understand of the statute, change is that we either live stream it all or we don't live stream any of it. Is that correct, Tony?
It's correct that we are responding to the change in state law. We will be live streaming on YouTube. It is just we are selecting YouTube to be the manner in which we are live streaming during the meetings.
Zoom. Say that again. You meant Zoom.
Did I meant
selecting Zoom as the
we're selecting Zoom.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Because Zoom is where we're already live streaming the
Correct.
entire meeting. So
And we need the Zoom to have people interact.
Exactly.
They can't interact through YouTube.
that's correct.
Correct. Got it. Yeah.
Any other comments? If not, I'd look for motion.
Which one are we on?
6CB.
I move to adopt resolution number 7600.
So second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Littlejohn, seconded by Mayor Devo. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Passes 3-1.
The
public is allowed to speak on issues or items not scheduled for discussion on the agenda. Comments should be limited to issues and items germane to the business of the governing body. The commission will not discuss or debate these items, nor will the commission make decisions on items presented during this time. Members of the public will be limited to 3 minutes for comments. Open it up to general public comment.
Just one, and then I'm done. Hi again.
Hello.
That's better. I like it. Clearly, y'all have a serious issue, a few serious issues that seem to be falling to the wayside. Because I've been watching this crap shit show basically for the last couple months on YouTube. Seen some videos, some pretty disgusting videos. I didn't realize how bad it was until I heard the public speak, and I heard your constituents speak out on all of it. And I think I'm an observant person. But what I saw is just like, from everybody up here, from everybody that was here, it was more of a, we'll deal with it later. And then later comes, and here we still are, right? Here everybody still is complaining about the lack of transparency. And still nothing has been done about it. And you guys are actively trying to stifle it. You're trying to stifle people's free speech so you don't have to deal with the accountability. It doesn't make any sense to me. I was just informed that y'all have a rule in your city council meetings or whatever where you're not supposed to answer any questions, right? You guys know that, right?
Correct.
You've been ordered that, I believe. Is that true? I mean, I'm asking you.
It's an order.
It's an order?
It's not an order.
Not an order, but it's in your rule.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that for everybody, or is that just selective? Because I've already witnessed y'all like answer people's questions and selectively not answer other people's questions. So I'm kind of curious as to like, is there like a line that you guys draw? Well, yeah, we'll answer that dude's questions, or no, we're not going to answer that dude's questions. Because that's kind of fucked up too, right? So that's about all I got to say.
Thank you.
John Emms, 66049. I'm going to speak to Resolution 7599, which just a couple weeks ago had a lot of very passionate people here. Talk about censorship and lack of transparency. I think you buried it. Can't find it anymore. I watched the public comment from May 20th. As you know, the Department of Transportation letter that ultimately led to the Resolution 7599 threatened transportation funding if affirmative action laws are enforced against federal policy. And the citizens that were here apparently were given the impression that the city budget risk was $8 million federal dollars. That's what they repeated over and over in the video. But much more is at risk, and y'all didn't make that apparent. The city receives far more than $8 million from the federal government. The city has not been transparent regarding how much of its budget is made up of federal grant and matching dollars. The city lives on intergovernmental operating grants and contributions, much of which originates from the feds to the state, to the county, to the city, and you all pass it around. OMB Memorandum M2513 is a federal directive that temporarily halts financial assistance programs for a review process aligned with the administration's priorities. And that's going on now. Again, it's OMB Memorandum M2513. All funding agencies are currently reviewing their grant programs. That's all funding agencies. The city depends on grants from these agencies. Lawrence receives federal grants in the amount of $39 million per year, according, maybe it's more than that now, but according to the December 2023 City Comprehensive Financial Report. If there's a newer one out there, I couldn't find it. These dollars have been applied to the following programs according to that report: general city operations, public safety, public works, health and social services, culture and recreation, Lawrence Memorial Hospital, Lawrence Public Library, and nearly 100% of the Lawrence Douglas County Housing Authority. You think we have a homeless problem now? Just wait till we don't get any money for it. This feels like gaslighting citizens. You can't tell people or imply to people that you can operate the city without federal fundings. You need to discuss with citizens how dependent the city is on to the federal government. You must publish your federal, state, and county agency sources of funding. That's not available anywhere I can find. Transparency and accountability, folks. We need that.
This old dude from Texas again. You guys and gals signed something, and there was a resolution 7473. Y'all remember what that was? That was that's city ethics and professional conduct. When you swore your oath, did you do it for shits and giggles? Or did you do it just because you just wanted to make yourself look good? So the people thought. You guys were affronting the citizens like never before. Here's what this says. You need to reread this. Every one of you, your JD especially, your attorney. Bottom line, this 1A1, it says, according to no members of elected officials, appointed officials, city employees shall do any of the following: take any action in violation of the United States Constitution, the Kansas Constitution, federal law, federal regs. Every one of you idiots sitting up there have done that. And it's on video. You can do what you're doing with YouTube, stopping the people from seeing what the hell's going on. You guys ought to be ashamed of yourself. I've been to a communist country. You need to take that flag down, and I will give you this to put in its place. You guys are communists. Your actions are communists. If you don't believe me, go to one of the local synagogues, and I want you to speak to some of the Holocaust survivors. Ask them how their families got displaced from their homes. I challenge you. I challenge any of you. Sit down if you got the guts. This is just some dude, a Jew guy that was in the Air Force that says, I served proudly. There's men here that served very proudly. I've got friends that are Vietnam vets that saw horrendous things, or Afghanistan, Iraq, all this stuff. But yet you're stepping on people's rights. And if you don't see that, you need to get the fuck off the stage. You need to get someone to replace you that believes in the flag, not this fucking thing. Because what you're doing is reminiscent of the Communist Party and damn sure the brown shirts of the Nazi Party in the 1930s. If you don't believe me, start researching it. Because your tenets, your actions have violated your own Resolution 7473. Reread it, because you have perjured. You know what's unfortunate is in our state, we're actually just passed a law that we literally can get any of you people off in our state for doing what you've done. Little John, what you did to him, I guarantee you what, there could be people that would remove your ass in a heartbeat with our new state law. That needs to be done in Kansas, hopefully. Because what's crazy is you sit on this qualified immunity shield behind you knowing that your insurance policy is going to cover your ass when a lawsuit comes. And I pray somebody starts reaching out to those insurance carriers and starts really making some waves. And I'll probably be one of them because I come from an insurance background. See how many times that you guys, your actions are costing your citizens monies with these federal lawsuits. And I hope they just run you through the ringer. It'll teach your ass a lesson.
Thank you.
Just to speak for city manager.
Other public comment, David?
Hello, David Baston. Just wanted to, I know earlier when resolution 7600 was passing, Tony was asked a question, the city attorney, and in a roundabout manner, she stated that basically, the Senate Bill 70 said you had to pick one or the other, one median, which does not state that. I don't know why you would have to pick one. Transparency is having as many forms as possible and accessible would equal more equal more people looking at participating as opposed to one. So I don't, unless I just misunderstood the person's question and her answer, that bill did not state you had to have one form of public or of meeting. So I just wanted to bring that up. Then also, as far as nice to see Brandon here since Craig's gone. It would be nice, and I think it's really rude that that you guys leave and don't listen to public comment. City attorney, when something may pertain to her, that I don't know if she watches the stuff afterwards, probably not. You too, Brandon, when stuff about homelessness or things you're responsible for come up in public comment, do you go back and listen to these things when it's going to take you another 5 or 10 minutes, but you just want to scramble off real quick? I think that shows, I mean, Craig's supposed to be running the city, and to let things like this just go without, it doesn't show very good leadership as far as I see. I know that he has a lot of stuff that he has to do, but that's just one I'm picky on, that you really should stay for the whole meeting to listen to what the public has to say also. That's just, to me, showing you don't care what the public states when they are allowed to leave. And I do appreciate Craig staying through the whole thing. Obviously, he didn't have to if you guys don't. But appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, David. So Chris is coming.
Hi, this is Chris Flowers. I don't want to be too gossipy, but on Live, Love, Local Lawrence, like 4 days ago, this is kind of a bad post, as in sad. And what happened? Someone is saying that someone ran over their dog, and they think they did it on purpose. But the day of or the day before, someone else had the same thing happen to them, and it was the same vehicle description. And I'm just here to ask if something like this does happen, and it's true, will the police release a public notification, like a public notice? Because I think that's a total safety thing. Because it sounds like the vehicle slowed down, and then when they got in the crosswalk, that's when they sped up and ran over the dog. And it's deplorable. And if this, I hope you all do look into this, because if it's true, I absolutely think there should be a public notice. Not just so we can catch the person, so that no one else walks into the crosswalk if they see that vehicle with their dog. And I just want to throw that out there. Thank you.
Patrick?
Patrick Ross, 66049. This one's called Taruf. Fear is power. Quiero hablar del otro, pero tengo miedo de lo que quiero decir. Can Lawrence declare itself a sanctuary? No de la manera en que piensas, but of truth and knowledge. Podemos ser una comunidad. Like the word says, unity. Una en que puedes aprender en un parque sobre la cultura de los persas. Lawrence is a welcoming city, a system of politeness and etiquette que enfatiza el respeto mutuo y la deferencia. Lawrencians are characterized by a back and forth of polite gestures, a menudo involucrado ofrecer y rechazar, and can involve a bit of ultra kindness in social situations. Más chequede, kebabs, skewered pieces of lamb from the land. En la cultura de Irán, la carne no toca el asador, se queda encima. The yogurt is strained, pero no puedes saborearlo. Eso es el punto. The meat is tender. No law, sand rats. Peregrine plumbing. Drive-by shooting with my American Kestrel. Una araña duerme en el cemento. La temperatura llega hasta los 31 grados Celsius. His shirt is as blue as the Jayhawk and American flag across his chest. Perhaps he could use some ice. Los mejores tacos están en la calle 9. What if restaurant leftovers were organized every night for those in need? Eso sería chido. Spend the summer with us in Puerto Rico. No se puede traer oro de Irán. Math comes from Mesopotamia. El sábado hay fiesta mexicana in St. John the Evangelist Church. Big number of meetings announce the schedule for star bond districts. ¿Cuánto dinero podemos ganar si no contamos los juegos del estadio? The field is set for this year's city commission race. Los zapatistas piensan que puedes cambiar el poder sin buscarlo. I call on all candidates to speak in public comment. Necesitamos un debate, no solo un cuestionario. Voters have until July 15th to register. The primary is August 5th. Muhammad Ali is the greatest boxer to ever live. He was born in a country ruled by God. I saw a man boil water in his hands. Iman means faith. Come to Dad Perry Park and learn all this before the city charges admission. Que onda, Jeff Craig? Como vais? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Michael.
Get this thing down so I can see everything. Because I got an interesting question for y'all. I'll let Sherry start.
Thank you.
Since the last time she didn't get it started, I got arrested. Thank you very fucking much, Bart Littlejohn. And it's hard to come up with the words. Here lately, I've been signing off with "fuck you very much" for the hypocrisy in this town. You know, what the fuck happened earlier, Lisa? Brad? I know Lisa knows because she stomped her foot at you and you ignored it. I saw her lip twitching too. Like she does when she knows shit's getting fucked up for their lawsuit. Seen it on her face a number of times. Shake your head if you know what I'm talking about. Still have no clue? Well, Brad, you let the school board throw people out for doing very similar things and help them trespass citizens from the school board for menial things. And, you know, I wouldn't make a big deal about it with the person up here because she has her right to speak. And I praise her for it. But what I condemn is your fucking hypocrisy. Because you let somebody utilize one of your consent items that you pulled to slam one of your proclamations. I know Lisa knows what I'm talking about because she could see it happening. Brad, did you not even know that was what was going on? But you created another great comparator for when we get into court about how you guys have shut us down. Because Lisa, we can't even hardly get a word out before you're ready to shut somebody down, have the men with guns come get us and take us out. And Bart, you're the same way. You know, you and your little coached conversation back there with a muted body cam. Bad look, dude. Bad look. I told Brad out there earlier, my anger that you've seen, you might not see as much of that anymore because I figured shit out now. I never wanted lawsuits, guys. That was never my purpose. The money on YouTube, God, a couple $100 a month, come on, really? I go through all this for that? Guys, I wanted change. And I was angry that all of my politicians that took an oath and all the police department that took an oath to support the kind of change that I wanted to see here ignored it. Anthony Kinnon, the homeless jaywalking ticket that you guys let him crash, man. Chief lying. God, shameful. But I'm coming for your money.
Any other public comment in the room? Any, Mr. Lawrence.
Hello, I'm Kristi Glover, and actually come to talk about your August 15th no camping ban enforcement, which sucks for us homeless people because we camp at a lot of your city parks. Well, not a lot of the city parks, but Main Park and Bircham for the most part. You know, after Tent City, people were promised, you know, or supposed to have first bids on little pallet homes, you know. A lot of us, we stuck through it, through winters. It was horrible, very horrible, just to come and find out that most of us we couldn't even get pallet homes, or we would have to lose our dogs. I mean, hell, what if my dogs died, you know, just because I couldn't be there. After that, it was Amtrak. You know, a lot of people that didn't make the pallet homes from Tent City moved to Amtrak. And then after all that, we got moved from Amtrak to the Hole in Campman over there on H Street, you know. And now enforcing the whole city, the no camping ban. Is there any way, I know there's nothing that it's already been, it's unstoppable, you know, to enforce it, which I totally understand. I get that part. But is there any other way that we can work together, making, you know, living quarters for people that, you know, upkeep the woods, you know, because there's no other people that actually know those woods better than us, because we live out there. We know the wildlife, you know, we know where to go, where not to go. I mean, is there a positive place or job we can do instead of kicking us out our last home? You know, I mean, it kind of sucks, especially for those who don't have anything that don't fit in the criteria for pallet homes, you know, or your vouchers, or me, myself, I fall in between all the cracks, you know. I'm asking you and the community, whoever else is listening, is there a way that we can make this work, please? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. See, no, Howard's coming.
So I've heard a lot of talk tonight about free speech and transparency. That lady that just came up here and spoke, in my opinion, that's who needs to be heard. That's who needs to be listened to. The folks that are being impacted by rapidly escalating city policies that are reactive to massive community pressures from people that have way more of a platform than she is likely to ever have, that are reactive to decisions that were made in crisis in the middle of the pandemic that allowed for situations to develop. Things went this way, things went that way. They've been getting battered around, chasing one decision after another, chasing one opportunity after another. I mean, I see them now more than I ever have, actually coming together and trying to figure out how to self-advocate, talking amongst themselves, trying to figure out how to approach the city, trying to figure out how to approach the community, to have a sane, sober, mutual discussion about their lot as we approach criminalizing homelessness for the first time in Lawrence that I remember, at least street camping. This is coming at them, and they are trying to figure out how to advocate for their rights and their accommodations right now. And I urge you, listen and discuss with them as much as possible and build as many inroads as possible to an equitable conversation with them about their lives and their conditions. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's somebody you should listen to, what he's saying.
Hello, David Collins again, 66049.
I've been referred to by more than one person here, so I thought I would speak up as a veteran. Anyone who has experienced the traumas of combat, along with people who suffered the traumas of discrimination or poverty, all have, I think, given us a greater responsibility to listen to them. On the other hand, I sort of yearned for the principles of our founding fathers, and over the couple of centuries and more, people who have contended that we need to be able to express our thoughts and our differences with other people in ways other than being hateful. That it's important that we let people know and hear so that they can understand, what problems people are facing, and that we do what we can, especially for the underserved and the underprivileged, to try to help them have a sense of dignity in the community. We're currently under a government that seems to think, as Bill Gates has pointed out, that it's okay to have an image of killing or letting children die by taking away resources that are not that expensive, but they're critical for their survival, in order to provide more money for people who have already more than anybody needs. And I think Lawrence is a place where diversity is respected and really enjoyed by people who come here to visit, and that the attacks that are going on against things like diversity need to be resisted. Thank you.
Okay, doesn't look like anyone else in the room. Any online?
Nope.
Okay, seeing none online, I look for a motion to adjourn.